Hey everybody, hope you are doing fantastic. We've been working very hard on the van build since our last video and we've been making a ton of progress. The van is almost ready to take out on a test run.
Like 95% ready.
So we figured it was time to take you on a van tour.
There's a couple little things that we need to adjust, and I'm sure we'll find other things that we need to work on when we do take it out for a test run. We've made a few changes since our last video, so we're gonna show you guys that in a bit. We are really happy with this design. It works incredibly well, and we even ended up with way more storage than we actually thought we would end up with.
As you saw in the van build video, there are a couple of different configurations that we've used with the bed, and we've designed it that way so that we have some flexibility. Right now we have it configured in our standard day configuration where the drawers are underneath the main platform and the small piece of foam is on the ground, kind of like a double bunk bed. We also have our standard nighttime configuration where our drawers are pulled out and propped up by those 4x4 wood pieces so that we get one lay flat bed. We have a third configuration as well where our small piece of foam can be pushed into the trunk and the smaller plank can actually go underneath the bigger piece of foam to give us access to the middle storage component. This gives us a ton of added flexibility and access to additional storage, which means we are going to have no problem storing all the stuff that we need to live on the road for like 2 months.
Last video, we left you guys with a bit of a cliffhanger as to what our seamstress was doing. We needed a way in order to block out light so that we could A, get privacy at night, and B, make sure that the vehicle stays at a reasonable temperature if we're hanging out in here. Originally, what we were gonna do is put reflectics in all the windows. We just wanted them to look a little bit more discreet, so we did cover them in fabric rather than them staying metallic, which would be a little bit more obvious from the outside of the vehicle. The ones that went in the rear of the vehicle turned out great. The ones that went in the second row windows did not turn out so good. So we came up with a different solution, which was to put up curtains instead. We were already going to put a curtain up between the front seats and the back living area, so making a couple extra really wasn't an inconvenience to us. The curtains unfortunately do not solve all of our issues. We do still need to find a way to bring ventilation into the vehicle at night so that moisture can escape. We do have an idea to put in some mosquito nets, however, we haven't quite figured out the finer details of it yet, so we'll get to that later, I guess. In order to attach our curtains into our vehicle, we did use Velcro. Now we bought adhesive Velcro. Turns out doesn't stick well in a vehicle, so we did have to use Gorilla Glue, which was less than ideal. However, who cares anyways? It's our vehicle now.
We've decided under the beds that we want to store all of our clothes in our bins, and essentially they're going to function as his and her bins. I get one to put my clothes in, she gets one to put her clothes in, and we have to figure out a way to make it okay that our dirty laundry and our clean laundry will be in the same bins. So we've decided to use packing cubes to solve that problem, to seal out all the nasty odors that come from living on the road. The good news is because we made the bins so large, we can fit all of our clothes, including all of our colder weather clothes. Another reason why this build is actually turning out to be fantastic for our needs.
The Trunk Show. The Trunk Show.
Welcome to the Trunk Show. Of course, this is the most important and highly debatable part of any minivan build. This is where the majority of the storage ends up unless you've built it in elsewhere. We've showed you what's under the bed, so this is kind of everything in between, including all of our kitchen, so to speak. The first thing that we store in here during the day is our Reflectix pieces. So these are what block out the light, and they fit nicely just underneath here. The next thing is, like I said, our kitchen. So we've got our water supply, our cooler, and our cooktop. a griddle pan. We also keep in here just a tiny little breakfast table that can be put outside, but also held in the van so that if one of us needs to work on our laptop and have a flat surface, we have that. So under all the things that we need to access on a regular basis, like our cooler and our water supply, is our bin that contains all of our core kitchen supplies and some other doodads. On this side here, we've got our plates, coffee maker, and extra containers for leftovers. On the other side, we've got our pots, pans, and cooking utensils. We've also chosen a massive water tank to make sure that we always have water at all times, but a smaller cooler because we prefer to shop every couple days rather than stocking up. We're also going to have some dry food storage in here at some point or another, which will include essentials such as flour, pasta, rice, you know, all the important things. To the right here, we also have this tiny little storage bin. There is in here a car jack, so if anything happens on the road and we need to replace our tires, we can do it right here from our own van and not need to call anybody. One of the best parts about buying a minivan is it already comes with built-in storage. Thank you, soccer moms. The Volkswagen Routan doesn't actually have stow and go seats for the second row, so what they've done is compensated by putting in extra huge storage bins where normally you would stow your second row seats. In one bin, we've put our tent as well as all of our outdoor equipment. In the other bin, we've put our shoes, propane, tire repair kit, all the less essential stuff, but all the stuff that might get a little dirty that we don't actually want to welcome into our van and want to keep kind of hidden away.
There is one other really important consideration that we didn't deal with at all in the last video, and that is power. Because as you know, in today's day and age, we are totally connected to our devices, our cell phones, our laptops, our cameras, our new drone. We need to make sure that we power those things so that we can share our adventures. So what we've done is purchased a 140 watt cigarette lighter converter for our new minivan. And luckily enough, our van is rated to pump out 160 watts. So with this inverter, we should never have to worry about blowing a fuse. This inverter will give us enough power to charge anything that we need, including our 2 power banks. And for $40, this seemed like a great solution compared to buying an extra battery with solar panels to charge and of course get really hot baking in the sun while our solar panels charge. So long story short, we are gonna have all the power in the world as long as we're driving. Kirsten, wake up. We're not done yet. We still have to film more.
But it's so comfy. Can I just sleep?
Well guys, thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we are really thrilled about the way our van build turned out. It kind of ticks all the boxes that we were looking for, and really it fits all of our needs. We have tons of storage, it's incredibly comfortable, and we cannot wait to get it out on the road.
Speaking of, in the next couple days, we're gonna take this girl out on a trip to Tobermory. It's about 3.5 hours north of here, and it should give us some crystal blue waters, some nice eco adventures, and a break from all this city life we've been doing this year.
And most importantly, we get to test out our camper and see how it works before we go on the long trip, which is coming up quick. By the end of July 2020, we will be out on the Great Canadian Road Trip. Anyways, thanks again for watching, and we will see you in the next video on the road in Tobermory. Bye.
Bye.